Right, let's take a look at where we're up to from the update this morning. This was a line that we were in actual fact watching, as I did say that we had to be a little bit cautious because this was going to be the area that we needed to watch. Okay, this is your downtrend line. There's a potential bounce off this area, and if we had a potential bounce, we were bouncing at the 86, and if we did bounce south, that meant that we'd have a 1.18 as our potential D extension, which converged with the main AB swing D extension. Well, you can see that we've actually crossed the line now, and we're moving down towards this particular trend line, which we classed as our day's trading line. So anything above this we'd be trading long, anything below it we'd be trading short. But please remember, we are talking about this move as well, and we discussed that on the 5-minute, and I'll come to that in one moment because it's this particular move south that we should have been watching. And we need to then watch what happens at the day's trading line if we get to this area. But you can see we've still got quite a battle on at your B low. So let's take a look at the 5-minute. Well, potentially what we did have, and I'm just going to move this particular line back, what we did have is we had this particular line right here on this move down, and this line here, remember, this up line, this uptrend line it was this particular trend line here that we drew in on the 1 hour, and we were watching that for the potential break. If you remember from the daily video, I was saying if we break that, then look for a bear crown on the 5-minute. Well, here we did in actual fact have the trade right here, and if we just zoom into this, we had a full body candle above the trend line right here, and this was then a potential long trade. Remember, full body candle above the trend line, and therefore we should be able to take this long. But this is where a little bit of experience comes into play. Take a look at this candle. Let's zoom right into this candle and take a real close look at this candle. And this is the candle that I'm looking at, this one right here. Just take a look at that. You can see there that the bulls took control and took us to here. But then the bears took control and pulled us all the way back down again, leaving us with this wick. Look at the size of this wick here, look. A big wick. More than 50% of the actual full candle size, okay? Full candle size, it's more than 50%. Now that stopped me entering this trade. Because then what I said to myself was, well, in actual fact, this closed with the bears winning this particular battle. So I'm going to wait for this next candle to give me another bullish closing body candle above the trend line, and I will then potentially enter long. Okay, now remember, we're already saying at this point that we're potentially at the point of the bounce right here, so caution should be taken anyway, because we're potentially expecting this to bounce, so we're potentially expecting it to go short. So here, once again, more reasons why we should be careful. And look what happened straight the way through. Okay, so that saved me from potentially getting into a losing trade, purely and simply by saying to myself, listen, if you take a look at this, this is potentially a bad candle to take, because look at that wick. Look at the size of that wick. That's telling you it is a potential short. The battle was won by the bears and not by the bulls. Okay. Now, so did we get the crown set up? Yes, we did. Take a look at this. These are the lines that we said the break. So you've broken the trend line, taken out the lows, and therefore just look at this. If I draw this in for you. Okay, now take a look. We broke that, came back up, and look at that for your crown. Isn't that just a fantastic crown? Look at this point of past resistance, continued to be resistance, and in actual fact we ended up with a divergence of the uptrend line, test of the back of that trend line, and of course previous resistance continues to be resistance. That was your crown setup. Now you would have looked to get in at this particular level. Let's draw first of all from this point right here, because what we've got, because we've taken out that, we then get the B point down here, and the A swaps to up here, so we've now got a down AB because we took out the lows. which means that this AB right here, that B and this A is no longer valid. We can get rid of them. This particular Fibonacci can go because we've now taken over here, and look at this AB 61.8, 1.618 D extension. That can disappear as well now because we've gone to the extension. I'm just going to get rid of these, and I'll draw this in again for you just so we've got no confusion. So here we go. We can now pull the fib on this particular right here. Always, honestly, it never fails to surprise me, this. So we've now got the AB retrace. Just pull that to there. Retrace to the pip to the 61.8. A retrace to the 61.8, the back of the trend line. Now remember, folks, on my daily update video this morning, I told you to watch out for this particular trade. Because if this was going to come off, I told you exactly where to look for and exactly how to take it. So this was the trade, okay? What did we risk? We went in at this point right here. We'd have gone in all honesty, this would have been, I'm just going to zoom in here. This would have been the candle that we would have honestly taken the trade on. This one right here. As soon as we'd hit that, I would have entered the trade on that particular candle right there. And then you would have had a little bit of a sweat because you're thinking this is going to take you out. So we would have entered on that candle right here. We would have risked 21 plus a couple of pips, 23 pips. And then if we'd have had a look at this to gain potentially, well, we'd have gained 25 pips there. Had we taken the two lots at my normal 23 pips, there's the 23 pips, taken two lots, we would have been in a free trade for the last trade, and then potentially we could be taken out on this particular move now, but we'd have had locked in here, locked in over 40 pips again on that trade. That would have been your trade. As I say, I did tell you that trade. I did give you that on the daily update video that you would have watched, so you should have been ready for that trade and ready to take that trade. Okay, thank you very much. Until later.